Just like sitting in the saddle day and night. After 25 years, captive to chair. Now Captain rides here, there, and everywhere. Now only need a cane to stay upright. When I'm not riding my walkie bike. Now I'm walking from walkie bike. Because I'm riding my walkie bike. And I found many adventures to like. Sitting in the saddle day and night.
So I wrote the anthem. That's the end of it. Chorus, last verse, end. Chorus again. Last Friday. And yeah. Actually, I won't be riding the walkie today because I was. Why was I looking at this van? This is the van. It got me this far. I was supposed to go on the Dogwood Trail today. It was going to be an adventure to like. This is not quite the adventure, and the reason I was bringing the Burchda is it's a little smaller and easier to get into the van. It's almost impossible to get the walkies in underneath. Even though it's raised, getting in is low. So, yeah, I've got an adventure to like. Going home anyway. Wow, it's very, very windy today. Let's adjust my seat a bit there. So the Burchda U8 gets to ride. I'm about 15 miles from home. And I think the water pump went out on the van. It was having problems, and I decided I was going to pull off into this well, across the street from where I ended up. I was going to pull into there in the gas station and check it out. I was considering the water pump because it was showing hot. The problem was as I started getting on the off-ramp, it started smoking. And so I just coasted right into that parking spot. And I get a different adventure. Instead of doing the Dogwood Trail, I'm riding home. Well, I've got percussion here. And we'll get rid of that. Just put it back here. It's probably still gonna rattle. That's emergency rations. I've never been back behind on this side of this campus. I ended up on the community Christian campus. Guess when I get home, we'll probably come back with some antifreeze and see if it starts. And then we'll have to call a tow truck, not a wrecker. Around here, the people call it a wrecker. It doesn't wreck anything. It's not supposed to anyway. Okay, I got my mirrors adjusted. I am headed home. It was supposed to be 85 today. I guess it's kind of good that it's not. It is really overcast and cooler than that. I'd say in the 70s. Very windy. So I made that anthem, my story, my poema, or my poem. And a couple other ideas were coming to mind. One about regrets. I'd like to write one about my only regret. And since I haven't written it yet, I won't say what that is at this point. I have one in mind about Isaiah 46:4. And now this gives me a new idea. The Isaiah 46:4 one's pretty, I've got an outline from the verse. The verse itself gives you a 4-point outline. So it just got to do a lot more thought about that verse, because I don't really know the difference there between bear and carry. They seem like very similar words to me, bear and carry, but in the other translations when I looked, they both had the same thing. So I need a clear understanding of that, and that'll probably have to do a lot with what I write about. Wow. Talk about adventures. This one's not the adventure we're all looking forward to, but it's going to come someday. It's going to come someday. And Dennis was speaking in Sunday school this morning about, he used to be a physical therapist assistant, and he was talking about, he went to a guy's house and knocked, nobody there. And so he left an answer on the, a message on the answering machine. And then the next day he showed up. Yeah, he wasn't there. And the third day he showed up. If it's still no answer, I kind of guessed. And sure enough, the door was ajar. And with that door ajar, he spoke the person's name to go in, and didn't hear any stir. And then he went on next. He got to the bedroom, and he was there. As he said, he wasn't there. So, yeah. If the Lord doesn't take me home in the rapture, this is my final resting place planned. It's good to plan ahead. Thankful the Lord provided the funds to do that. Old enough that you have to take these things into account, be ready. Because when you go, oh, the wind stopped. All of a sudden it feels hot. When you go, and your ones are grieving for you, you don't want on top of that to be a financial burden. So having that planned out is a good thing. So that was an unplanned first part to this trip. I didn't realize it's like, wow, yeah, on the back side of community Christian and school where I ended up in the PAC, the Paducah Athletic Club, and a gas station across the street. Just a little bit down on this back side is I guess this would be called a graveyard. My son informed me that a cemetery is connected with a church and the graveyard is standalone. I didn't know the difference. We use them interchangeably. But yeah, if you didn't know that also, that's a nugget of information for the day. Just missed that hole, thankfully. Yeah, 61 years and I never knew that. Just thought they were two interchangeable words. Essentially they are for me, but get heading home now. Didn't get very far, but hey, that made it a little more interesting. Not just straight shot down this this is the old Mayfield Paducah Highway before they put in 45. It is so windy I can hardly hear myself talk, but from past times, I trust that the DJI is recording well. It's pretty through here. Last time I rode through here on the walkie, yeah, that would have been the H9. When I rode through here, it was back in the winter, and so nothing was leafed out. Now everything's just fresh, a lot of small leaves. Not everything's out even. Grass is green. It's completely different. Just thinking of, I said those songs. I wrote my song, my poema, Friday, and had mentioned no regrets in Isaiah 46:4. have ideas for. But this adventure here has given me a new idea. Because my first thought was, calling the tow truck as I just stopped, and then I realized pretty quickly, a couple seconds of like, oh, I've got a parachute. I can still get home and then worry about worry about the van later. Okay. Now this will zigzag across 45. I've got a truck coming behind me. Let them pass. So I keep getting to that next idea, and then the road is kind of intervened, and yeah, I have to have first thought on driving, and then second focus on what I'm talking about. And that next idea is from this is like, whoa, I'm sitting in the van, I've got a parachute, I can head back. So that was kind of a freeing thought. And then pretty quickly, I actually opened it up to text and then saw a note from somebody else and sent them a text saying I've got a parachute. Oh, this is nice. Stop and just enjoy. I love water. I love creeks. That's beautiful. Very beautiful. Broke down. Might as well enjoy it. Enjoy a different ride. It was going to be the Dogwood ride. Right to the right here goes to Melbourne, and my 94-year-old neighbor, well, back in 2019 he died, but he had moved down there to Melbourne on his daughter's property. About a year or so before that, because I visited him a few times. Don't remember exactly how long he was there. I know it was spring of 19. He died the year before COVID, along with another one of my neighbors across the street. I think died a few months earlier. He died in the winter. Anyway, the story about everything else coming along as we go, something different, and moments that are only there while you're passing them. So talk about that. Yeah, my other idea for a song now, after I had read a text, I texted back that I've got a parachute. And so I've got a parachute. And it's not my walkie e-bike today because I didn't bring the walkie because it was, as I said earlier, more difficult to get into the van. The Burchda is a little more compact, and the H9 is down for temporary maintenance, and so I really didn't want to. Then I didn't want to bring the H7, so I thought, yeah, they're probably overpowered for a lot of the bikes that'll be there anyway. We'll be going slow. The Burchda will be just fine. It will get in the van easier. Well, it turned out to be my parachute. So yeah, there's another song to write. I'd like to write a song about my parachute today. I should have taken some pictures of the bike there on that bridge, because it's a place where we stopped. I should have taken pictures at the cemetery, or graveyard, not cemetery, yeah. Because we stopped there, but I did not. I'm learning. There was room there, but those swinging arms weren't. Yeah, that wouldn't be too good if I'd have hit those arms, or they hit me, rather. I stayed over as far as I could without getting off the road. Oh, I see some azaleas. Woo! Hot red. Hot red, 2 hot reds and a pink. Very nice, very nice. So much beauty to view this time of year. Life's all fresh. It's a very pleasant day to be on an adventure to like. Generally on my walkie e-bike these days, but today it is on the Burchda. I have 31.5 amp hours on this bike. It's about, it'll be 2 years old, July 29th. So it's going on 2 years old. And so far with a small 500 watt motor, I can get 40 miles per charge easily. Maybe if I was trying to stretching it to 50. So getting home 14 miles is no difficulty. There was someone fishing in a little pond. I really like traveling the back roads, and this looks like more of a highway than it is. It's kind of a back road that used to be a highway. Sort of is around rush hour, maybe. I like this time of year because everything's open and you can see. In the summer, and particularly in the fall, when the corn is grown all up and the weeds are grown up and different things, like this here's to my left is a plowed field. Looks like they had corn last year, so if they have corn, it'll be a wall. It's a completely different feel. Also the trees, right now you can see through them, these big ones, where later on down the way you won't be able to see through those trees. Melba Road. Oh wow, there's a little road the width of a driveway. I would say, yeah, the width of a driveway. Not very wide. That was probably the old way long time ago to get to Melba. So yeah, you can see through the trees right now, but it won't be long and they'll be solid mass as far as the eye can see looking, and you won't be able to see through. A lot of things off the road will be hidden that are not now, or only be able to see from a low shot. Yeah, I like riding. Spring riding's great. Just like late fall riding, when it's warm enough and everything's been cut down, then's when you really notice the difference. You know, if you ride and everything's full. See, now this is going to cross 45 here. So we crossed it there, on the other side of it. And then it does the same thing again down there. So it's not quite as much of a straight shot. The speed limit's not as fast. And at the same time, it's not just that, it's I need to ride sometime and check the mileage between the two. There's got to be a couple miles difference. Here we are in Folsomdale. Unknown town now. All these little towns are bypassed by the highway. I'm sure living on these houses is a lot better now with this road not being as busy. West Kentucky Rural Telephone Co-op. Another site on the way. Looks like some people planting a garden. I haven't looked since I'm not planting this year. I haven't really looked, but it is the 12th of April, and you get a 10-day forecast. If there's nothing close to 40, it's about okay to plant now. You're being a little bit of rolling the dice there. Most options are gonna be good, I guess. For the picture, snake eyes might not work. If they came up, you might get a frost day not planned on. $8.49 would take you back to the highway. Supreme Foods. Okay, so I don't remember what that building used to be, but now it's Supreme Foods. That's new. Here we go. I've taken some pictures with the walkie out and said canola fields forever. There it is. Canola fields forever. Or so it looks like it. With the Burchda in it. And the canola fields. I'm getting kind of thirsty. Okay, it's a little different on the U8 than the H7 or H9, because pretty much going 20 miles an hour. I got a little decline here, so I'm getting 22. But that's a 10-mile-an-hour difference in capacity between this bike and those. The H7 is just single wheel, so really it's only on the hills it's gonna go as fast as the H9. They both come rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive like I have with the H9, and now they have an Ultra. The Ultra just has one big 2,000 watt motor in the back. I've never ridden that one. But this one going 20 miles an hour on this road, yeah, I'd sure rather be going 25 to 30. I enjoy the Burchda though. You get a little more exercise with a 500 watt motor. And this has the, I love it how Tail Happy TV, whenever he reviews a bike and then has these, he'll call them the cheap ergonomic grips. I don't know about cheap, I don't know what expensive are. And yeah, this is an economy bike. It's a very good, they did a lot for the $1,000. They stopped spending it now, or stopped making it now. It's out of production. But these ergonomic grips, I really like them. I wish they were on the walkies. That's one thing. As soon as I get on that I like. I've got the same X-Wing seat on here that's on my H9. Well, we made it from Folsomdale to west of Viola on our quest to get home after the breakdown of the 1997 Dodge van. I have gone back to the left there and taken pictures the first time I came this way. I've got a Jeep behind me, or a truck rather. That was a little Ranger. In my dreams, but yeah, that's what I'd like to replace the green van with, would be a truck. I don't know if the Ranger's bed's long enough. The beds have to be long enough. I'd love to have a smaller truck. People don't sell those, especially cheap. They don't hardly sell any truck. We got walkers up ahead. This is where I'd really like to have more speed. Hello. To get around, but thankfully there was nothing coming either way. So it was good. More canola to the right. I have taken my neighbor's word that that was canola. There's two different colors. The freshly planted stuff seems to be light yellow, and the stuff that comes up, it seems volunteer, but it fills fields, is a brighter yellow. They're both beautiful right now and have been for a few weeks here. Here we go. There's another. Look at that. There's that canola just spreads. It's a noxious weed. It's everywhere. I am going to try to get some pictures with my phone. You can enjoy what I'm seeing. There's the flowers that way, creek that way, a dry bed though. So I will get back on the road. I'm not in a hurry. It's probably about, might be 2:30 now. At 2:30 we were supposed to start the Dogwood run. Of course, my plans got derailed by the van honking out. It just, as I was pulling off the road, it started smoking. And as I was starting to pull off, it was making some noise I can't really describe, but I really was thinking water pump, and then when the heat was up and it smoked, I'm like, I think that's what happened. I think the water pump went out. So I think I've got a couple of things going on with it, because the AC really wasn't working that great. But I heard a squealing sound the last time when I came back from Paducah. And so I thought, well, I'll put a full charge on the battery. And the AC was working great. It was pretty warm. So I think the alternator is not putting out, and the water pump went out. So yeah, It might be Traveling Wilburys song time for that. End of the line. I have had that van since 2000 and actually 2003, the end of the year. We moved here in 2004, January 31st. But so we're at Pilgrims. So now I'm about 4 miles. I guess I've traveled about 10. It says I've gone 12, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, I haven't gone straight home. About 4 miles from home. I got a car behind me. I'd like them to pass me because there's a truck coming. Please pass, guy. Oh, man. Get the ones that around here, thankfully it's the overly cautious that are more almost as dangerous as the, if they had just passed me it'd be all right, but you had that truck coming the other way. So we made it from Folsomdale. I don't remember what the other little town was. Hickory. These little towns that have a post office and about nothing else. Maybe a few of them now have Dollar Generals out on the highway. If you go to the right there. This will make this trip a little more interesting. We have made it, so we're about 2 miles from home. This is West Kentucky Technology Park. This was Mid-Continent College. I actually went here for a year. Right, this circle we're going around now was going around, there was a softball field right here. And you can kind of see the end of the infield still. You can still see even though it's been gone for several years now. Because it's been gone, we had the tornado in 21, December of 21, and it's been gone, yeah, it's probably been gone since 16, it's probably been gone 10 years now. Of course, when they bought it, I think it sat for a while. It's probably not been that long since that was taken out, but it's been a good 6-7 years at least. So after the tornado, when a lot of businesses were uprooted, this college campus became hot real estate, and it really helped out the area having this here, this infrastructure here, and the old Walmart Plaza Center were two pieces that were sitting with lots of vacant area. And so for us, businesses were relocated pretty quick. It was a lot tougher on people that lost their homes, whether owners or renters. It was really a lot of the places were rental properties. So yeah, this is a little more, it's a little slower, but it's a little more interesting than just going straight down the highway. And yeah, this is actually, this is where I pay my internet bill. And I do that normally monthly on the commuter bike. That's the one, it gets its once a month ride, but right now it's down. Flat tires. First time it's ever had flat tires. So I took Walkie and paid it in March, and it is the 12th. Well, yeah, it's about time to pay that bill. It's about time to make that ride. Looks like the commuter won't make it this month, likely. So I get to take the Walkie out this direction. Probably be the H7. This actually, yeah, I now have over 1,400 miles on the odometer on this bike. Of course, that's 1,400 is 1532. Somehow I wiped out the odometer at 132 miles. So it looks like the Burchda is going to equal what the van did, only make it there all right. Hopefully. I did have some forewarning on the van, like the last time that I went to head home from Paducah from Bike World. It was squealing, but I was thinking alternator. And I thought, well, with a charged battery, I'd be all right. But the water pump did cross my mind. now I definitely wish that I had just taken it straight over to my mechanic. But I wanted to get through this today first before taking it to the shop, and that was not a great decision, as it turns out. But I really wanted to go on that Dogwood ride. Somebody keeps a nice mode path here. The people in that trailer court walk over from here to that. We're behind the Dollar General. That car was slowing down to make sure I wasn't coming out. It's nice when people are aware and being careful themselves. I wouldn't have pulled out in front of them, but if you're in the car, you don't want to be the one that runs over somebody because you're not paying attention. And us on the bike, we are grateful for drivers that are aware of their circumstances. Okay. It's not my wonky e-bike today. It's my Burchda E-bike. But tomorrow's supposed to be rainy. I've got several options now. I should work on the parachute song. I was interested in Isaiah 46:4. I think I need to do more research to understand some of the words better before I write that. And make an attempt to bring a song out of soon. Oh, my anthem song, when I wrote it in tens. So the AI did really well with making it. And the very first iteration they made had the feeling that it needed. They tried other iterations and nothing was as good as those are one of the first, or maybe the second. I made it right away. I tried some more, and they kind of would get worse as they go rather than better. So yeah, I liked that one. So this is Robert of Ride to Walk, where I ride for mobility. And then along my rides, talk about what's going on. Like today, what's going on? I had a car breakdown, or sometime if It's a different one. Could be a scripture. Like I made one on Galatians, but I hadn't really intended to ever do that, but when I was trying to make an opening video, that was the only thing I could think about at the time. And so it came out. And today this is completely unplanned. Although we planned on making a video, I thought it was going to be a dogwood run. Instead, it's the quest to get home. And at this point, I'm close enough to call this a video. Robert out.